Hi. Okay, so quick update. We just finished dinner after the management call this week, which went much better. Just it went super A plus, spectacular. We discussed stuff and it went really smoothly. I just wanted to do like a quick update. So this weekend we're going to Puducherry, Pudu cherry, and it used to be called Pondicherry, Pondi Jerry. And it was affectionately called Pondy, says Wikipedia. But it's like a French colonial town, and it's part that whole Puducherry to Pondicherry thing, or Pondicherry to Puducherry, is kind of in the vein of all of these like renamings. Like for example, Chennai used to be known as Madras, like Madras, which is why the Expeditors branch code, or I guess maybe just the port code in general, is MAA, but the branch code MAA is for Chennai. But they're kind of, I guess, reclaiming and they're renaming a lot of their cities to be, I guess, more localized names, which is totally cool. But it does add for a lot of confusion, like Bangalore and Bengaluru, and there's a lot more that I can't think of, but you can look it up. But I'll update you guys on Pondi. I'm gonna call it Pondi because that's fun, or Pudu, I guess, because that's the with the changeover. Well, if you guys, I'll update you guys on Pondi. Look out for a lot of pictures. Kind of funny today. We got so two of the group that left before us handed their SIM cards over to us because to get a SIM card here is kind of surprisingly difficult for a foreigner. Like you have to bring in like three versions of photo ID and like your passport and a whole bunch of stuff. Actually, they require your passport for pretty much everything. Like we have to bring our passports to the hotel to Pondi with us just to check in. But I had asked one of the analysts on the actually it was one of the developers on the GS1 team to help me like refill my card, my little like prepaid SIM card, and because actually I tried doing it myself and they don't take my credit card, they don't take my debit card. It has to be like a local card. They're expecting a local card, so I ended up giving him cash and he used his card to refill it, which was really nice of him. And it'll happen again because those refillings only last for 28 days. But while I'm there, I'll have a number and I'll be able to contact. So it's Justin and I, and then Jeff, our the branch manager, and his fiance Kara are going. And we actually went out. I went out with them before. It has like a farewell party for the group before, and they're very cool, Jeff and Kara. So I'm really looking forward to Pondi. I already staked out all the places I want to visit. Like I have like a Google map that I downloaded, like the local region, and I've starred all the locations. And I'm just gonna tell them if everybody wants to come with me, that's cool. Otherwise, drop me off at this star, and I'll meet you at the opposite star. And I'm just gonna walk from one side of the city. That's my Saturday plan. Um, but it's kind of funny. They helped me refill my card today, and it's weird because like they have different sets of phone numbers and like different regionalizations, and apparently my phone is just angry that I'm using an Indian number, so it makes me dial like 0 to get an exit number to dial local numbers from my local number. Racist phone. Um, but that's all good. That's all set up. Actually, I just finished packing as well. And I also want to talk about. It's kind of weird. The inconsistency here is really strange. I think it was Brendan who described to me when I first came in. He was like, or I was describing like, oh, it's kind of weird that this is over there and that's over there. He's like, yeah, this entire country has a final mile issue, and I don't know if that's used anywhere else, but like in logistics, final mile is like not just putting something on a truck and going goodbye freight, see you later, I hope you make it, but final mile is actually taking that freight and putting it on the truck and then traveling with it or in the truck or stowing away, whatever, I don't know. And then actually like taking that freight and putting it in the location. So for example, if we were moving like soda machines, like a vending machine, the final mile is actually going in and installing the machine, not just putting it on a truck and waving goodbye, but actually taking it that last step. And it's really interesting that a lot of that stuff gets missed here, which is fascinating because like you walk into our bathroom, it's really interesting because they've got like hand dryers and like automated drying system, and then like a really cool like soap dispenser, and they have those things where you have to put your hands under the water or under the faucet for the water to come out, because there's like sensors. And if you don't, if you take your hands away, then the water stops, so you're not wasting water, which is all great. But it's like configured in a way that's not exactly useful. So like in order to wash your hands, you have to put your hands in front of the sensor, but the faucet's higher enough than the level of the sink that when you're if you're triggering the sensor, you're also splashing water everywhere. And there's like three sinks, but then there's only two soap dispensers. So if you're using the middle sink, you just don't have access to soap, or you have to like do like a weird walk around someone else and then come back, and then which is going to get water everywhere. And it's also kind of a reach to get to the soap dispenser. So you get your hands wet, and you get the area around the sink wet, and then you get the rest of the counter wet, and then you wash your hand, and you don't wash your hands, and then you realize that like the hand drying is way over there on the wall, like literally like 10 feet away. So in order to like wash your hands here, I have to get like the whole area of the sink wet, the counter wet, and then the floor wet in order to wash my hands. And they've got all the pieces, but they're just not quite configured correctly. And that's kind of consistent throughout the whole a lot of the experiences I've had here. Or there's like little things like you'll sit down at a restaurant, and you'll have like a fork and a butter knife, and then the guy across from you will have a spoon and a fork. And then like if you ask like, hey, can I also get a fork? I'm interested in using a fork. And they're like, yeah, of course you can get a fork, absolutely. And they'll just grab a fork from another place setting, and you're like, oh, now I realize why I don't have a fork, was that somebody else dropped a fork like this morning, and there's just been a chain reaction of forklessness. So it's very interesting because like it's such a service-oriented country, and everyone's really nice. And if you ask for something, they'll attempt to get it to you, but the way in which that's done, it doesn't seem very efficient. And so this inconsistency is kind of glaring to me, because recently in my life that I've made like a goal of like creating habits, and I've really like kind of utilized consistency in order to like better myself. And so it's something that I'm very aware of, or I like to think about, like creating habits and being like a habitual person, and then like how to break bad habits, how to set good habits, and then like paying attention to consistency and stuff like that. And it's very weird to me that it's like, it's not that it's inherently bad that there isn't that kind of consistency, but it does surprise me. And it's not unique to here, because like if you ride the bus in Seattle, consistency is like the bus will be there at about this time, maybe. But it's something that I'm very aware of, and it's something that I have to be conscious of, to not, like, if I'm in a bad mood. Like I woke up this morning on the wrong side of the bed, like I was just grumpy. I didn't have a reason to be grumpy, but I was grumpy. So I just spent the whole time at breakfast being like, ooh, that's inconsistent. Ooh, that's inconsistent. And it's just like that's the thing that kind of grates at me, and it doesn't bother me, but it does, like, it works as like a force multiplier, where if I'm already in a bad mood, I'll notice those things even more, or they'll matter more, or I'll imagine them to matter more to me. That also feeds into the fact that like I'm working on with our analysts being very consistent in like their document formatting and stuff like that. And they're like ESL, like they speak my language way better than I speak their language, so I'm not like denigrating them for not being like fluent in English, but like the idea of like, you know, create an array at and create an array in are two very different concepts, you know, or use this delimiter for and use this delimiter as. It can mean two different things, and when you're writing a technical document, specific wording is very important. And then it also kind of flows over into like they'll take like a table that was made in like literally like 2005, and they'll just copy paste it into the map. And I'm like, you can make this look better. You don't have to be afraid to improve. Like if you think I can do better, you almost certainly can, and you should feel free. But it's interesting seeing the consistency, but it's okay, because it's part of like those are the kinds of things that I wouldn't have thought I'd have experienced coming over here. And then I come over here and I experience them, and I go, okay, that's why I'm here, to see new things, to experience new things, and to be surprised. And I'm hoping that Pondicherry holds some more surprises for me. And I'm going to take a lot of pictures. And I feel very prepared. I still have to actually. I mean, I have like all my clothes laid out, but I haven't put them in the bag yet. Like, packed, technically. Not technically. Alright. Feeling good. This was a shorter. This wasn't half an hour. This was only 10 minutes. My phone's not going to cut me off. I'm going to cut me off. Thanks for watching.